Hello patrons. Yesterday I put up a video on YouTube unlisted, and posted the link here on Patreon so you can see what I'm currently working on, and it's a music video for my new track Amida, and it's basically the Amitabha remix. Amida means Amitabha in Japanese, so I thought it was a great idea giving it that name. I've used multiple apps and combinations of apps, exporting, importing, re-exporting, editing, adjusting in so many steps. It took me 12 hours just to create that piece of video, and it's 2 minutes long. The final product will be released with a final fully produced track in January, and following that month in February I will be putting up tutorials, 2 or 3 tutorials to spice up my haQQers show with a bit of video material too, because I do all kinds of stuff, pictures, videos, music, so I want to put that in there too. Besides, I think it would be fun showing people that you can actually create some really awesome stuff using iPhones and iPad. And I've gotten a lot of emails, and most people think I've made it all on my iPad. No. I made it on the iPhone. I made 1 bit on the iPad, and I'm gonna talk about how I did that today, because if I would talk about how I did the whole video, you would have to sit here with me for 3 or 4 hours. That's how long that tutorial would take, because it actually took me 12 hours to make the video, and explaining all of those parts is just too much time. So today I'm gonna try to keep it short. I'm hoping not to exceed more than 10 minutes of your time. So what I'm gonna do first, I'm just gonna name the list of the apps that have been used so far to create the piece you have already seen. I've got my iPad here. I sent an email to Colin, because Colin is gonna use this version of the video. It's gonna be visible for the iOS community. It's gonna be featured in one of those podcasts that TheSoundTestRoom makes, Doug and Colin. The iOS community music special. I love it. I love that they started with it. Doug, you're a patron. Great work. Awesome, I love it. Yeah, send that on to Colin. Okay, here's the list. On the iPad I used Photo Puppet HD. This one, that's on the iPad, and that's the only app I used on the iPad. On the iPhone I used Roll World, Pixlr, Frax, the built-in video trim in iOS, when you just trim videos in the video viewer, Film Flares, VHS FX Maker, Video Grade, Reverser, Pinnacle Studio. This is the app list so far that I've used. And the thing is, I'm gonna explain how I did this part. This part is really interesting. So today I'm gonna explain that, and I'll try to do this as quickly as possible. In the middle you can see the character Ami talking, and then you can see these 2 demonic faces. You watch my show, so you probably recognize that it comes from this picture, that demonic face, and it's actually one of my normal faces that I use for my thumbnails, that I've made demonically look crazy. I just put some demon eyes over it, and then I worked with filters and stuff, and I used Pixlr. Ami is actually, I'm just gonna show you this because this is so fun. I'll be back in a second.
Watch my lips smacking. Ha.
This is the guy that you keep seeing in my graphics. And I know it's hard to believe, look at him. I mean, he's all orangey. And the one I'm using is like very golden. I took a picture of this, and then I took half of the face, copied that, I flipped it around and put them together to make a perfect symmetric face. And then I started working with colors. I put so many filters on it, and I used like brightness, contrast to make it look like this golden thing. Then I cut out the entire face. I did the same thing with the demon faces. I cut out those faces, and then I used an app called Photo Puppet HD, and it's only for the iPad. It's not the greatest program for doing stuff like this. What it lets you do is cut out parts of things and move them around, animating them. That's how I did that scene. The first part of that scene is cutting out faces, cutting out parts of the mouth, and then animating them. And I animated them with my fingers in real time. So I had to cut out the part where those vocals were that I wanted to animate. And I played them back on my iPhone. So I cut it up in audio share from that song, and I put it on a loop and cranked up the speaker on the phone, and then pressed play. And then I pressed recording on the iPad, and I recorded a 1 minute long segment where I'm animating the mouths from the middle guy and the other ones. And then when I was done, I exported that as a video. I moved it via AirDrop from my iPad to my iPhone. Now, from this moment on, my iPad is no longer used. Now it's only the iPhone. So the rest of the video you see is iPhone. I had it recorded, I had it done, and since I was playing back the track on my iPhone, that sound was recorded with the iPad microphone. So now the video had a bit of distorted audio in it, but easier for me to sync it in the final process when I want to put the original audio over it. I took that video clip from PhotoPuppet HD into Pinnacle Studio, and then I flipped it upside down. You're wondering why? Yeah. Well, the thing is, I wanted to use film flares over it because it has these moving suns that you can use and pulsating lights. The problem is, well, you can't really control where the pulses and the sunlights and everything happen. It's all gonna happen, you know, up in the front or all over the place. I had to flip that video with these three guys around first. So they were upside down. I then exported that, imported that into film flares. I put 2 types of flares over it with the moving sun and stuff. And then I exported that, took it into Pinnacle Studio, turned it around, then exported that. I imported that clip into video grade, where I started mucking up some of the exposure and the lights and the contrast and shadows and stuff to make it look in a certain way. Then I exported that, imported it into VHS, FX Maker, and I put a final filter over it, exported that, and that's the final bit I used in my video. And in the end, I'm using about 3 seconds of that clip. Incredible amount of time. But the result was awesome. I thought about it a long time. I needed something to really make my stuff look like my stuff. And the Ami face is one of my things, because I've used that for my Buddha drone project for quite some time. There will be more videos explaining more of this stuff for you. I would love to talk more, but I don't want to torture you with my slow-paced droolings. So have a nice day. And oh yeah, Theory, he expressed the will to learn Swedish. So here's something for you, Theory. Jag gillar varmkorvsbröd. It basically means I like hot dog buns. I don't know if you can use that, but there you go. And to all of you, you're very special to me, and I hope you enjoyed this video. You're the greatest. So have a nice day, and until next time.